With all this talk of the digital IDs, many of you are saying things like, ain't got a smartphone, never had one, don't want one, not interested, thank you very much. So how are you going to get me? How are you going to get me on this digital ID? I'm just not going to bother with it. Because, lots of you are of the opinion that smart actually means dumb, especially when it comes to privacy tracking. And when I tell you I've got an example of two polar opposites coming up in just a second, I mean it. And you'd be absolutely right. You know, the smart basically means no privacy, sovereignty, and control. That's basically where we're at now, right? Hence why they're all salivating at the prospect of us getting on this frickin' smart grid through these digital IDs. So lots of you are saying, I ain't got a smartphone, don't want one, will never get one. So how are you going to get me on this digital ID? Unfortunately, I actually think the answer may well be that they'll hand out smartphones like Smarties. Of course, this is on the assumption, and it is quite a big assumption, let's face it, guys, quite a big assumption that the old digital IDs actually take off because, of course, they need people to comply on a large scale. And whether that happens or not is yet to be seen. We're talking just days away, and again, this is speculation, rumour, that days away of it being announced at the Labour Party conference. On Sunday is the rumours. So, if that's the case, and they go for it, I've got mixed views. I don't know about you. On one hand, I'm thinking to myself, have people got that? Have they got it in them? Do they have the ability to say no? And then on the other hand, I have thoughts of the old post-2020s. You know, and remembering going to the supermarket and seeing the stickers on the floor and the scientific 6 feet apart, and, you know, seeing things like masks flooded throughout society. Now, time has gone on from then, much information and much knowledge has come out of that, and I'm sure it is in fact episodes like that in time that have played their part, and certainly should. And I wonder if that will play its part in regards to digital IDs, because also, I don't know if you saw, I shared a video yesterday. You've probably heard of Amazon Fresh. That was that dystopian concept of people walking in, putting what they want in their bag and walking out, and it being charged through AI and surveillance. Now, all of those stores, and there's about 19 left, they're all being closed. Because people don't want it. People don't want it. They don't want that sterile, horrible existence, typically. Yeah? Even though not everybody wants to do the small talk all the time. And you know, I'm exactly the same. I get that. But just walking in like that, mass surveillance, AI, whatever. Anyway, people have rejected it. Will it be the same for digital IDs? Because I'll tell you, you know, whenever you get viewpoints online, and of course it can be a kind of echo chamber, but generally the overall feeling and sentiment that I'm getting is negative, especially when they're coming out with incentives like dealing with potholes, which honestly, again, I did a video on that earlier today. Now, in regards to these polar opposite examples and coming back to this smartphone thing, as I mentioned, if it does kick off, then I do believe that they're going to hand out smartphones. You know, they'll give grants, or they'll do something, yeah, to get the people attached to it, or again, to certainly have it as a big part of the agenda, because you need it. You need a frigging smart before they start chipping your head or whatever their plans are. People need to have access to a smartphone. So And I believe that there's been other countries that have done that as well, as an example, right? But here's the update for you in regards to those polar opposites. 2G, right, end of the line. Now, Vodafone, I believe it is shutting down the 2G service, which, believe it or not, this was available since 1991. 2G. Can you believe that? 91. That's how long this has been about. But 3 years ahead of a big deadline. It's that big year again, isn't it? 2030. Apparently, they're going to be shutting it down to make way for the more powerful 4Gs and 5Gs, and eventually, I mean, what's 6G going to be all about? I've heard rumours about what that's about as well, but anyway, it's probably a separate video. But it's to make way for them more powerful things that I'm yet to feel any power of, to be honest with you, when it comes to being surrounded by masts that are meant to speed up your life and speed up the internet and speed up videos. Yeah. I often struggle to make a call. Yeah, with bad reception with these masts surrounding me. So I'm not entirely sure what that is all about. But I promised you some polar opposite example here. So it's referring to things like bricks, the brick phones, right? I think they're going to become more and more popular, by the way. I really do. And are they on 2G? I don't know, but from the early 90s, I'm assuming probably so. So and people have still got these bricks, and they're more than happy with it because they don't want the smart. But here's where again the sort of reservations might come in relation to where we might be heading. And again, this is very much assuming as well that it's real and it's happening. You got the brick phones. You got the people who don't want the smarts. Absolutely. On the flip side of that, the polar opposite, there's an app that is currently trending. It's got all the way apparently to number 2 since this was posted yesterday. I don't know what the update on this is, but this article came out yesterday. It's an app called Neon, right? And what it does is if you allow your phone calls to be recorded. Oh no, get this. Listen to this. If you allow your phone calls to be recorded and for the speech and the data to be sold to AI companies for research, you get paid for it. And this has become so popular that apparently it's been trending and it's gone all the way up to number 2 in the social app on the Apple App Store. So we'd have to assume that means it's popular, right? Right. People are willing to have their conversations recorded, right? And again, I looked into this a little bit because it fries your mind. But what they're saying is it records one side of the conversation, something like that, right? Which is your side, right? So it records you. It doesn't record the entire conversation. So it records you, and then based on what you're saying, it sends the data off to an AI company who then uses the data to research it, and then you get paid for that. So it appears that people are kind of willing to submit to having their personal data being sold to get a little bit of the old cashish. So there is that side of it as well. In regards to digital IDs and where we might be moving forward. So it's an interesting one, isn't it, ladies and gents? Yeah, in regards to which way it could go based on polar opposite examples like that of people more than happy with their bricks, but then making it more difficult and getting people on the smarts by shutting down older technology. Yeah, because that's, again, I'm sure the way that they get people moving on. By 2030, and people willing to sell their data literally to AI companies to get a bit of money. And on that as well, I mean, it really, if they're willing to pay for stuff like that, imagine the power of the social media platforms, the twatters, the Facebooks, Meta, YouTube, etc. You know, in regards to, it's not just big data, is it? It's like mass data. Imagine what that data's worth if companies like that are willing to buy your conversations. Wow. But yeah, going back to the original point of the video, how will we move forward with the old smarts or the digitals? Over to you. Ta-ta.